Hello and welcome to another episode of Becoming a Jolly Soul podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm producer Stu.
Hi Stu.
Hello.
So today we're looking at your dreams are your dreams for a reason. And you deserve to see them come to life. Keep focused on them. So this is another Instagram post. So if you're not following our Instagram, please make sure you check us out. So this one was all about kind of don't believe the hype is what I wrote on the original post, which was don't believe in the kind of overnight success. There's so much about this. Like you can literally just look at anybody's story, any successful person. I've heard so many times talk about this that, you know, they're not an overnight success, no matter how much, you know, newspapers, media, etc. want to make out that they are. They have worked and grafted so hard to get to where they are. And it's that kind of unseen hours, isn't it? It's like 10,000 hours that you've put in behind closed doors almost before you get to a point where it's considered to have made it. And, you know, it doesn't have to be even about that. It doesn't have to be about like celebrity status that everybody's trying to get to either. That's another thing. But that, you know, if there's anything that's greatness, that any sort of greatness in any avenue, in sport, in, you know, any kind of career, then, you know, the majority of the time it's going to take consistent hard work. You know, some of the most successful business people in the world, like, you know, have like a few hours sleep a night. That's one thing. You know, we've all heard this thing with Molly May where it's, oh, you've all got 24 hours.
Yeah. You
know, yes, it was blown out of proportion. Some people think not. You know, I understand that we don't all have kind of the same upbringing, but it's, I guess what she was trying to say was like, what are you going to do with the 24 hours that you've got as part of your life? I don't think she worded it quite maybe right.
No.
But it's true, you know, I think you've got to remember that if you want to achieve something, then you've got to kind of make a step forward with it all the time.
Yeah.
Like you've got to be able to put that time and effort in, and that it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just come to you. It won't just happen overnight, and accept that and then move forward towards it. Because that's the difference, isn't it, with a lot of people in life, that some people will make it and some people won't. And 9 times out of 10, it's just the effort that you put in. It really is, you know, like if you think about even just, you know, I mean, we interact with a lot of actors, and when we do, you know, a lot of them who are starting out just kind of want to be an overnight success, and that's what we hear a lot, isn't it? You know,
they do give themselves 6 weeks to like make it, and the usual response is, you know, you need to work a little bit harder than 6 weeks, you know.
And I think like even when you do make it, you know, like even if it's acting, for example, it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed that next role either, and there's, you know, you're not even just guaranteed a role. You still got to audition at most levels, you know. And I don't think people expect that. I don't know what, you know, everybody thinks about. I know, like with the industry like that, like I'm not sure what. But I know one thing, that it's definitely not given, and also I think on these long journeys that people take, it's like not to give up hope that things will work out, whatever it is, whatever the challenge is, whether it's a dream, if it's you know, a career that you want, if it's a certain, even a house, for example, whatever the things are that are a great thing to achieve, that will take time. These things can happen, but not to lose kind of hope or faith that these things are going to happen either.
Yeah.
Another point that people kind of tend to stop, they get disheartened, you know, and it's easy to, you know, I've been disheartened. I've had lack of belief for certain things, and then suddenly realize that actually all I've got is my own belief and my own ability to work hard and keep moving towards things. And the majority of the time these things have come together, or I'm still working on them, you know what I mean? So but yeah, I think that's one thing. I think also you've got to remember that like going back to the quote, that your own dream is your dream for a reason. And it means that, you know, just because, you know, it's about like, you've got that in your soul. That's your thing. Yeah. Whatever it is, whatever the thing is that you're wanting to move towards, or the things that you want, you know, most of the time it is your dream. And that's okay, you know, because people think, oh, well, everybody wants to, I don't know, like a kid said to me last week, oh, everybody wants to be a footballer. And it's like, well, a lot of people might want to be a footballer, but not everyone. I don't want to be a footballer. I mean, I'm one person out of everyone that you can say, I don't want to be that, which, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think your dreams are yours for a reason. I think when it comes to your dreams and your sort of purpose, or the things that you want in your life, they are your kind of little blessing. And I think you've got to just make sure to know that they are. You've just got to check that they make you happy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things, is that when you are doing something you love, you are happy doing what you love. And another thing that might help you show your progression when you think, you know, these dreams are not going to happen, is to count how many times you've failed at that particular dream, because it doesn't mean that it's not working. It just shows you that you are progressing, because, you know, without failure there isn't success.
Yeah.
You know, to get to those places, we all fail. So I think, you know, we failed in certain areas, but we've carried on and we've got past those points of failure to another point. And then, you know, you'll get to a goal and you'll get there. But it takes a lots of failure to get to those points, and those failure makes you stronger as well. It makes you a lot better person, and also helps you, like, takes yourselves on another angle towards your dream as well. So there's lots of routes to get to your goal. You've just got to find them.
And it's like, what will you do with failure? Don't you think that, like, most people who succeed in their goals, dreams, aspirations, in careers, are the people who deal with failure in a different way maybe than the majority of people. Like, if you fail, you've got to learn to like you say, grow, learn from it, and then move forward. You've got to kind of like get yourself back up. It's like fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Well, it's like,
do you know what I mean?
A newborn or child learning to walk.
Yeah.
It's a simple.
I love that example.
It is, isn't it? You don't just stop and give up. They carry on until you've succeeded. You know, like, we should all embrace failure. Failure is a wonderful form of success. You should always embrace it. Yes, we don't want it. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to see it or feel the failure, but the pain that it provides. But we should embrace it, because it will make you better.
And I think, like, if you are finding failure difficult, maybe look for stories that have failure in. There was a story that you showed me the other day, I don't know if you remember, and it was about a guy he went for an interview for, I think it was Facebook, and he didn't get it, and he kind of put a post out saying, oh, you know, I didn't get this job, it was close to where I live and such a shame. And then he went for a job at Twitter, and again, it was like, you know, a really good opportunity, and for whatever reason, he didn't get that job. And then in the background, he carried on, like, doing the things that he loved, and he was developing an app and what have you. And then eventually, Facebook bought that app off him for something like 5 billion, and it was WhatsApp. So, you know, yes, your failures are difficult, but maybe they're not always, you know, that road might not always be part of your future or your destiny. And actually, another road might lead to somewhere even more beautiful. He
met failure, like everyone should, with gratitude.
Yeah.
He was grateful, and he was thankful.
Grateful for, like, even just being seen and the opportunity, to be seen.
That's what it was, and that's what he wrote out, and that's what he put on the post. It wasn't about, oh, woe is me. It was like, you know, well, oh well, on to the next one.
Yeah. But how wonderful, though. And I think I know myself, like, in my past, I was definitely the kind of person who really took it on too much, really took on failure. And I think it's one of the biggest things I've had to come to terms with and deal with is failure, and actually being able to fail. You know, I remember like a motto when I was younger, which was like, I always win. And isn't it like, once you have that blueprint that like, this is how I live my life, I always win.
Yeah.
As soon as you don't win and you have a moment where you don't win, it's just so painful. More painful than the person who, you know, just deals with it. Well, I would say it is, you know, if you've got, think about your thinking that surrounds the things that you want to have in your life. So if, like I say, if it's, you know, a certain thing that you want, or a certain goal that you're going towards, and you believe like this is the next right step, and then it isn't the next right step, it's learning that actually I'm going to deal with this differently. I'm going to say, right, okay, dust myself off, maybe have a day. I always, there was a lady who I once saw a TED talk from, and I won't go into too much detail, but one thing that she used to always do was just...
Sorry.
One thing that she used to always do was just have a moment where she'd allow herself to cry about it. So if something was extremely difficult, then she'd let herself have that one day of like almost mourning of whatever it was. So if it was like failure for something, or if it was, you know, like a bad situation that had come up, she was like, right, I need my moment with it, but then I'm not going to sit in that moment. I heard actually another podcast with Oprah talking to someone, and I think it was something like an acid attack or something on this lady, and it really was horrible. You know, she went to I think she lost her sight, and she lost all these, you know, things that we just take for granted. I was so proud of this lady who'd been able to sort of rise up above the adversity in her life and actually not let it be something that affected her for the rest of her life. She was able to come to terms with what had happened to her, to what some people might consider like a downfall or a failure or something that they couldn't get over. And she decided that it wasn't going to define her. And I know this isn't quite about dreams or what have you. It's just, it's about that a difficult situation shouldn't be something that's going to stop you moving to where you need to be. And yeah, so I hope today has helped you in some way. I hope that it has inspired you to follow your dreams and not to give up on them, and that, you know, that you deserve those dreams to come together, because they're your dreams, and why would you be given them if they weren't for you? So yeah, I hope you go out and do something with them, and I hope you catch us again on our next episode.